ahead in the start, but Sweden bringing it back. They're always so focused when it comes to the late game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another look at the map vetoes because there was a little bit of confusion going on, but now we've got the right overlay set for you guys. Haunted Mines and Blackheart's Bay were banned after all, so no shenanigans, no crazy strategies coming in. It's going to be a smooth and normal series of Heroes of the Storm.
Warhead still here.
I mean, hey, okay.
We can't count everything out as of yet. But, like you said, both these teams seem to want to go to more standard fighting styles. So, Dragonshy, the first pickup, and I expect we'll be continuing down that kind of path as we continue.
I want to ask you guys, Team Sweden looks incredible right now. Even when they're faltering, even when they're falling behind early on in the middle of the game, they always have these moments of brilliance where they turn a fight around and dominate the late game. Can they carry on this momentum now against Poland?
I mean, if they keep getting what they want, yes, I said it. Just before the game started, I said Team Sweden got exactly what they wanted, and they forced Poland to pick exactly what Sweden wanted them to pick. So I think Poland, they need to revisit that draft phase, and they need to make sure they are not falling into those traps.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go visit Brax's holdout. Once again, it was chosen by Team Poland, and they did the exact same thing against Team Germany, losing on Dragon Knight, going on their home turf, on their comfort zone. Brax's holdout it is.
If they don't ban Gul'dan here, then I'm going to be quite disappointed. Or at least if they don't counter-pick it.
Do you think they should do it?
I think they can play it themselves. I think Mana should be a player who is very capable on Gul'dan himself, and he is very strong on this map, so...
Would you prioritize it over the Chromie?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so let's see if Team Poland is going to follow that advice.
Potentially ban one, pick the other. We will have 2C. For now, though, Sweden beginning with a Genji ban. It was very nearly their undoing in that last game, so very solid. And rip Gul'dan, but that leaves Chromie available for either team and gone.
Chromie, very strong initially on the map, but I do feel like she has real counterplay because of how slow she is at clearing waves and pushing actual towers. So if I'm Poland, I'm willing to accept this trade.
All right, so now that leaves a big question mark open towards which hero is Mana going to play. Is it once again going to be a Probius? Is he going to fall back on the Li Ming? But Li Ming not really adding a lot of value in those laning phases either.
Greymane still works. He's fine here.
I actually think he did well.
The safe choice. He did very well. He didn't feed. He did what a good Greymane should do. He did damage and very nearly got bursts.
Mana, a player very similar to Mene, I would say. He prefers those mages, but he's still very strong and very adequate on those other heroes like Greymane.
All right, so Genji, one of the most dominating heroes on Brax's holdout, is no longer available. 7 seconds left on the clock. It is ETC and Rhaegar. I think they just used the remaining time on the clock to really think about future picks, future counter picks.
I think they were also deciding, do we pick the Greymane now?
Yeah, Sweden now can.
That is the triple threat, of course, the Greymane, Rhaegar, and ETC. They had to select at least 2 of them. I do think they did obviously leave Greymane open for Team Sweden to pick, as you just mentioned, Tetcher, but I think them picking Rhaegar or ETC was probably more scary.
Yes, so I agree, but this does now leave that potential choke situation available. Greymane pick up now for Team Sweden, Li Ming ban in the next phase. They can try to begin to choke out the incredible player that is Mana, but so far we've seen him on limited heroes.
And if you guys want to be a cool cat, you know what to do right now. Cheer for your favorite teams. Hashtag SEWin if you think if Sweden can maybe carry on and expand their lead even further, or hashtag PLWin, PLWin for the Polish guys if you think they still have what it takes to maybe make their claim of being the winners of Europe in the Nexus games come true.
As Sweden do not decide to try and choke out Mana, instead they go with picks that would be good and would be annoying to play against. Brightwing would be an immense problem when you have a Chromie on your team. She gives the Pixie Dust, which can protect people in Temporal Loop or even just caught in Chromie combos. And Muradin, well, we know why that's being picked up.
Muradin, a very strong hero that we might have seen Poland ban out
Exactly.
Probably not pick, but definitely consider the ban out at least.
Yeah.
He is such a strong tank, and the only one other than ETC who brings reliable crowd control.
And of course, one of the two heroes we have seen consistently Rask dominate on. And as such, he's on one of his favorites. On this map as well, he's played Muradin, I think, 3 times now.
He's got the unique feature of making plays by baiting people into focusing him rather than locking others down and paving the way for his allies.
Task is banned out here, but still available. Snuck his way through the draft here. Could have still been picked up. A Task Tracer comp would have been completely okay here.
Yeah, I wonder why they banned Malthael. They could have actually picked it themselves, no?
Yeah, they could have picked it themselves, but...
Clearly have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, picking Malthael is a very limiting factor. And although it might have been a good last pick for them, I think they might have wanted to ban it out and instead secure something strong now so they can flex a different pick as that last pick.
So, the Morales and Valor. Double support on a Valor.
The Pink Peril, it is back.
It is. It was very scary in the last time we saw it. Let's see if they can do it again. And this is also another reason why Malthael would have been banned out here. Anti-healing is something that Malthael offers in spades, and it can be a huge problem when you're trying to get an Ancestral off, for example.
It's a very good point. And not just the Ancestral, I feel. Morales
healing
gets
all the healers.
Yeah, it gets all shut down, even the self-heal provided by ETC. The Tormented Souls had hit multiple heroes, and then the Touch of Death gets activated afterwards. Massive AoE value.
So, Team Sweden. Another damage dealer, because as we've discussed before, Chromie, one of the downsides she has compared to Gul'dan is not that good as a solo assassin. So we need something to set up for her.
Do you think Sweden is going to continue the trend of picking Temporal Loop now?
I don't think I'd like to say it this game, because this game we do of course have Medic, who can keep people topped up, start healing them once the loop comes down, and Veigar, who has the cleanse. So I would not like to say it this game, but so far I've liked most of the situations they picked it in, so I might have to trust his judgment anyway.
I like this. Sweden picking 2 potential solo laners because Poland have done a fantastic job hiding theirs. So how does Sweden react? Well, if you pick something that is going to do percentage damage to Arthas, then we'll send Alarak. If not, then Alarak can come down and join with Chromie as potential lockdown. I love this pickup.
So what is really left here for the solo lane? Zagara?
Zagara,
Sonya,
Leoric again.
I'd say Sonya's the most likely candidate. It's quite hard for Arthas to kill Sonya because she is very tanky. So even if Brightwing TPs, even if maybe Muradin ganks,
what about
she
Leoric?
still has a good chance to make it out.
And what about Alarak against the Sonya?
Leoric it is.
Leoric it is. Your call was right.
I do like the Leoric actually. I mentioned before, you guys asked me, why is Leoric not picked? And I told you, well, it's a counter matchup to tanks in that solo lane. Well, Arthas is a tank, right guys?
Yes, and now this is really going to potentially force Alarak into that solo lane, which Leoric is relatively sustainy, so might have a little bit of difficulty there, and Leoric much better wave clear than Alarak.
The problem for Leoric could be, though, that he needs to get close to Alarak in order to potentially land the Drain Hope. And even if it lands, Alarak can use his swap to get to safety. And don't forget about the long-distance lightning poke, which can be really annoying for Leoric to deal with.
It is annoying. See, since Leoric's rework, he actually has a lot less sustain in lane than you would expect. He relies much more on hitting heroes with his swings and stuff like that. So, might be a more difficult lane than most people are expecting from looking at this draft.
So, look at the votes, guys. It is almost a perfect tie. And we can really see how well these teams have played to really convince their fragment of the community out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you like more? Which draft do you like more?
I'm looking at Poland. I think they have the players. They have something that actually fits them this time. And Sweden, it doesn't look like they prepared for that. So my vote's on Poland. I think they can take it to 1-1.
We're talking about comfort picks. I'm not hating Sweden's draft. I have faith in the High Lord. I'm going to be leaning over to Sweden this time.
And I think momentum is the biggest factor that speaks in favor of the Swedish team. I think they're in a good spirit, and they can take this series as well if they play well enough. In the meantime, Tetcher, introduce the Swedish boys.
Introducing Team Sweden with Ska, Henning, Nuti, Rask, and Daikon.
And on the opposing side, we see Team Poland, a team that can really make a tie happen, but they need to play this very, very well with Gugus, Zadoon, Wolves, and in the bottom lane, we're being joined by Mana and Arjuv.
Immediately, the teams moving towards the center of the map, looking to potentially find a delicious kill. Brightwing has moved so far to the solo lane as she's not the damage dealer that would be needed for this early kill. Unfortunately, the target they found, it was Leo.
And the Wraithwalk is probably one of the most beautiful abilities to use in a situation like that.
We do, in fact, see Arthas moving into the solo lane here. They're not going to swap it round and bring out the Alarak.
So they're potentially trying to give up this lane, or I mean, it doesn't have to automatically happen, but Arthas normally doesn't do very well against Lyric, but they're trying to make Skok stack up much more quickly and really turn him into that late game carry powerhouse.
And of course, Skok probably gives a little bit more blow-up potential than Arthas would have in this lane. So as long as Arthas doesn't get absolutely destroyed in lane, if Sweden are able to pick up some kills, this could give them an early lead.
And keep in mind that there's a global factor coming in favor of Team Sweden. There could always be that cheeky Brightwing teleport to help Arthas in need against the Leoric.
As we do see, Ras continuing the front line. Scott gets stunned up here. Immediate counter Stormbolt here. As Scott looks for the potential turnaround. The silence interrupted by the face spell though. Good timing.
Yeah, really good timing and a huge deal to really interrupt the combo by Alrek before it deals heavy damage. But I'm starting to get a little bit worried here. The double support composition for Team Poland looks so strong. Morales doesn't even rely on mana, so in theory, they could have infinite sustain.
However, the issue we're seeing is also this scenario is good for Team Sweden. We see the majority of the damage in these fights. Oh, careful, Scott. Except in situations like this, where the damage is onto Scott, who will go down as first blood here. I was gonna say the majority of the damage going onto Rask here, who is able to heal up with his third win. But the problem is, if Alarak gets caught out, Brightwing doesn't have the burst healing needed to keep him alive.
And now Team Sweden is already in a world of trouble here. Top lane was heavily dominated by the Leoric, as expected. Arju with the immediate counter gank here, helping his brother out. And only Murder plus Arthas, I don't think they can actually sustain through this.
Yeah, Wolves is draining and he stays alive, especially with the help of Zhuf. The amount of sustain that Poland had was far more than the amount of damage Sweden could dish out.
And you can really see how comfortable Poland seems to feel on Brax's Polar. They play this map like it was the easiest thing in the world, and they do choose it a lot, so they probably have a lot of experience on it.
As the Zerg wave comes in, one of the earliest we've ever had, as we see a 2-minute 42 Zerg wave and a camp coming into the top lane.
Yeah, perfect timing, Barju. Having the time and the momentum to really go for a mercenary camp. Look at those Zergs, by the way, dealing a lot of damage, even on Muradin. And Alrak, it just doesn't seem to get the job done. Whenever he goes for a combo, he exposes himself, and that leaves enough time for Zadoom to lock him down with a combo.
Exactly. Right now, we're seeing Scott having difficulties. He had to use telekinesis most recently to protect Rask, whose Dwarf Toss was interrupted. And this 100% Zerg wave is continuing to put pressure on. And guess who's the target? Once again, like you said, it's Scott. Hungry Arrow. Not enough to finish the job, though. In the meantime, though, Leoric is also pushing top.
Yeah, this is going from bad to worse here for Team Sweden. All that early game pressure is hammering down on them. The Zergs are going to take down bottom forward. This time the combo by Alrek landed, which is good, but look at the health bars. I mean, Morales and Rek are keeping everyone and everything alive.
Exactly. Morales with that no mana healing, like you said, able to keep everyone sustained, and Rhaegar having some very not too many issues with mana management.
Yeah, now Wolves is trying to go for another drain on the Arthas. I think he was able to dodge it as well, but in the meantime, we see another flank coming in. Skok, I think he smelled it. He realized something was wrong. Where are the enemy heroes? And if you take a look at the minimap sometimes and you don't see any hostile mini-map symbols, you can sometimes really guess, okay, they might be nearby and try to set something up.
Exactly. So, talents for Leoric here. He did go for Consume Vitality at level 1, and then Ghastly Reach at level 4, as we see the root landing, but not enough. But yeah, he's going for a nice little bit of, not the quickest of wave clear, because he doesn't really need it against Arthas. He's going for what will work later in the team fight, including for the drain momentum, which is going to allow him to be a menace in the backline, and for chasing Arthas with the movement speed slows.
That is actually an interesting choice. It's not the most common pick at level 7 because we're used to seeing Hopelessness a lot, maybe even the increased healing provided by the Willing Vestal. but the movement speed adds a nice little twist to him, especially if there's two warriors that you can always land your Drain Hope on. Arthas is very immobile, and it also counters the movement speed decrease that Arthas has with her Frozen Tempest, so you can always make sure to stay close to him.
Indeed, can work out very well as the Zerg wave finally ends. As Wolves positions aggressively, scouting out for his team. As Sweden very much on the back foot, not even at level 7, but they're approaching quickly.
Finds the Alrek, tries to drain him a little bit. Look at the movement speed.
Oh.
It is so hard for him to get away from Wolves. But, and if you fully channel your Drain Hook, by the way, that movement speed bonus is going to persist for a couple of seconds, which really turns Lyric in one of the fastest heroes in terms of movement speed.
Fastest skeleton in the West. He's easily able to take control of most fights if he's able to find anyone isolated like that. It works so well. And of course, will combo with, at level 20, the Burning Despair.
That's a very good point. Burning Despair is such a scary talent. Speaking of scary things, that is a lot of damage coming in on mana, but the double support from Team Poland is on its guard.
This is the issue Sweden are having. They're not able to burst through this yet. They need their level 10s to have a huge chance here, as they're forced all the way back to their base. And even if they do at level 10, it might not be enough. We're going to have to wait and see.
All right, in the meantime, Knuti gets a couple more chances to really stack up his Sandblast trade, which definitely marks a big power spike for any Chromie player. If you have your Sand Echo available, all of a sudden, you're going to be able to dish out a lot more damage. Rask, by the way, takes a random Drain Hope to the face, but doesn't really take too much damage overall.
He does, however, take some audacity as he moves on to the point. EDC, power sliding through, level 10 not available for even team as Rask is focused down. He Dwarf tosses out, but Valor just wading through the rest of the heroes of Sweden and able to pick off Brightwing, and they take down Arthas.
And it looks like Team Poland knows about every single move Team Sweden could possibly go for. They read Brax's holdout like an open book. They always know when to go for which mercenary camp, which objective, and they always seem to expect perfectly well where Sweden could come from.
And it's working out so well as down goes Chromie. Alarak was trying to kill off Gugus, but he can't even 1v1 a Morales.
And it looks like history is going to repeat itself, just like in the series against Team Germany. Poland is looking marvelous. However, they also seem to have dominated in game number 1, and only in the very late game was Team Sweden to really utilize their superior team fighting skills.
Counter tools starting to come available for Sweden. The temporal loop is available.
Once again, I can't believe.
They can find someone, maybe alone. If they're not alone, then you have Cleanse, you have Ancestral, you have the Morales Safeguard. They have to catch someone out of position, but look at this, Poland, they're always brutes.
The time trap saves a little bit of time here.
Oh my god, the damage output from Mana.
To be honest, Gugus is not the only good Vala they've got in their ranks. Mana is proving us all wrong. Whoever thought he was just a mage one trick, well, we're gonna all get schooled by his Vala performance up.
Yeah, Bakery literally described it perfectly. He prefers mages, but he's pretty good on everything else. The score gets drained, the silence is dropped, but the body blocks are good, and Scott's taken down by a strafe.
And guess what? Things are only going to get worse here in the top lane. The Zergs are already pushing against top fort, as you can see in the bottom corner of your screen. But I really like the play by Team Poland. They're trying to get value elsewhere, and look at that. That keep is taking, or is about to take, a lot of additional damage. They're even reinforced still by our mercenary camp.
Poland bring the strafe and Valor, and they give the strife to Sweden as they get another kill. Marin even knocking Daigon into the mosh pit, but they're not able to finish that one off. And Wolves gets out. 6 kills to 0. They're still pushing it. The Merc Cap's still alive, but guess what? In the meantime, the Zerg wave is pressuring top.
Achievement unlocked. Rask has finally fallen on that burden.
Hooray!
Feels good, man.
As Zhu takes a little bit of damage, but once again, they can't lock anyone down. Sweden can't pick up the kills they need to start turning this around. They're still at level 10 as Poland approach 13.
And look what they're doing. They realize, okay, so if that top Zerg wave is going to get extinguished, we're just going to help out a little bit more. Because guess what? We still have a couple of Rogue abilities at the ready.
Indeed, they're moving in, looking to put more pressure. March of the Black King is used. Buradin, Dwarf to Scout, and Daikon gets completely zoned away. Chromie damage is good, but that's going to be the other keep going down as well. And Poland. This is the dominant performance that we see from them sometimes. They are great on this map.
Not even 10 minutes into the game and both keeps are already extinguished here on the side of Team Sweden. And Poland realizes, what could they possibly do next? Maybe go for a boss, maybe go for more mercenary camps to maintain pressure. Look at that. Team Sweden just turned level 10, got heroic abilities. They feel very happy about it, but already they realize, oh no, not again. We're one talent behind. Let's start this all over again.
Yeah, but with those heroics, that is potentially a bigger deal to get than the 13.
Right there.
A desperate move by Team Sweden. If this goes wrong, they could be flambéed, sautéed, but right now, Poland, this raid could be their forte.
Yeah, they need to force something here, and the boss pit is probably their best chance of winning a team fight. Otherwise, they're just going to continuously get pushed in. Rasko takes so much damage.
The Dune still no mosh. 10 seconds remaining as we see the cleanse on Mana, who drops the damage here, forcing everyone back. In comes the deadly charge from the Alarak here, but it's not enough. But Colette, he walks back in though.
Oh, the time trap.
The time trap, keeping Leoric alive. He will escape here, but Poland, they get a 2 for 0.
It seems to be the case that everything is just against Team Sweden here right now. Their own abilities actually not helping, but putting Leoric into a safe haven. But here, the Polish team is trying to get even more value. The boss is falling, melting like chocolate. Can they make it happen?
We can add Betrayed to Flambéed and Sautéed as Brass moves in, looking to try and get anything, any kind of counter kill, but they can't do it. 9 kills to 0 in favor of Poland.
And that is a very big deal to deal with here. That Archangel boss ball, it probably may not threaten the core too much. Oh, look at Team Sweden. They realize if they keep defending, there's no chance they can ever hope to win this game.
Their core is already under pressure. They have to get something now. Temporal Loop does nothing onto that Rhaegar here, who wades backwards. Emerald Wind, their last chance. The score is shredded by the strafe, and Mana is destroying Team Sweden as they tear through the last remaining member. Down goes Arthas, and down goes the core to the boss and the mercenary camps. That is GG, and we're seeing Poland bringing it back to a 1-1.
The Archangel finally dealing the damage it deserves. We keep making fun of the boss because it gets distracted ever so easily by minions and mercenaries, but if it's left unattended, it can very much ruin an enemy team's day. But Team Sweden may have looked desperate, but it was really their only ways of really hoping to make a comeback.
Yep, absolutely. They had to make the desperate move, and, well, Teamfight's what they did. You even saw a desperate heroic, the deadly charge coming out from Alarak. Didn't work, but it's cool to see an adjustment of, we're behind, you're gonna try something.
And I spoke on that Dragonshire game about Team Poland playing a completely different pace of early game. And they just did it again, but this time they carried on that pace throughout the rest of the game as well.
And Brex's holdout, it just belongs to Team Poland, and they made that claim and underlined it very heavily.
Absolutely.
What you got for us, Bakery?
So my first replay, Mana, you guys said it. Turns out he can play Valor as well. As we watch this fight at the hard camp, I want you all to focus in on what Mana does. Look at his position. So he dodges the Alarak combo. This whole time, he is stood in this fantastic position below the team fight, getting so much damage, getting so much value. Now, watch what he does. He vaults forward because he sees a kill on Brightwing completely alone. No one else even hit Brightwing. And now he walks back immediately after, dodges all of the remaining damage, and secures the kill on Arthas as well. Such a masterfully played team fight by him the entire way through. And wow, what a player.
What a player indeed. Professional StarCraft player. Really, really good Heroes of the Storm player. We've yet another double threat that we have seen in the Heroes of the Storm scene.
You know, some people are just gifted with a blessing of being good at video games.
And how dare they be better than us, but the fact is, for us two especially, they are.
Hey, don't drag me down on your Platinum 5, okay? I'm a master player by heart.
Okay, let's move on before we go any further down that road, and let's look at replay number 2. Now, replay number 2 is this huge fight at the Archangel, and he gets so much value from just hitting, like, actually the team of Poland, but they do manage to live through it anyway. So as we go forward, I want you to watch Mana again, but this time we'll be looking out for a play from Arjuf, who actually plays amazingly. So he's positioned really well the entire time. He now moves forward, he does not hit the boss, so he does not start tanking it. Now, the cleanse, did you guys see that? The cleanse cleanses the Alarak W, and that's what keeps Mana alive, and that's what allows him to do so much damage in this team fight. Now, the Archangel this entire time has been hitting the Team Poland team, and they're pretty low, and Sesto actually misclicked onto Medic instead of Leoric. Now, Leoric thinks he's full HP right now, and about now he realizes, wait a second, guys, where's all my HP gone? And he gets saved by the time trap, saved again by the swing, giving him a bit more health, and Daikon just managing to sneak behind the gate before Mana could clean him up.
What a performance. I mean, as you said, Bakery, there were so many things going in favor of Team Poland. Mana in particular is a hero, or a player, I should say, that we need to bow before, because he's been, without a doubt, one of the most impactful players in the tournament so far. However, before we continue with this explosive best-of-5 grand final between Team Poland and Team Sweden, we're going to go to a short commercial break, but we will be back right in a bit, so don't go anywhere and keep your snacks and drinks ready.